The year is 2023, and this is the Sony a7 III. Is it worth it? Let's find out. Before we get started, it's your boy Kip Jackson. I'm a filmmaker based out of New York, really upstate New York. I started with that sign and this phone and really progressed to having cameras like the Sony a6100 and the Sony a7 III up to the Sony FX6. Now, if you're somebody that wants to learn photography or videography, I'm your boy. Also, if you want to save money and really learn from my mistakes in this whole journey, check out any of my old videos. I'm honest, I'm straightforward, and I'm not really going to sell you anything that I haven't really personally used myself. Back to the video. This is shot on the a6100 and this is shot on the Sony a7 III with a Tamron 28-75 f2.8 G2 lens with a Tiffin, count 'em, Tiffin Black Pro Mist, which is what gives it that hazy look back there. For starters, I can tell you that I love this camera. It got me tons of work when it comes to weddings, corporate gigs, just client and brand work in general, and even documentary filmmaking. Now, it's not like Netflix approved or Hulu approved documentary filmmaking, but it's small documentary work that really I use as spec projects to get my foot in the door for other clients. If you're somebody that's trying to learn photography or videography in general, this is a great camera to pick up. It offers 4K at 24p and 30p, so you're really not missing out on any quality, so to say, and it even offers 1080p at 120. So if you're really looking to get that cool slow-mo without losing a lot of quality, this is your camera. I actually found it online at this store called Willoughby's in New York City, or I don't know how to pronounce it. The website's here. I found it for $15.99, just the body, and for $17.99 with the body and the lens. Now, Amazon also has this for $19.99, but it comes with a lot of other accessories like the ones that I'm using here. If you want to see right now, I'm actually shooting. As you guys see there, it is a Sony a7 III with a Tamron lens on it with a monitor to let me know what I'm doing. Hi guys, what's going on? And then sometimes I like to operate with the V cam right there, my light, and again, back to the microphone. Here are all the positives of this Sony a7 III for 2023. Price. It has 4K, 24p, and 30p. It has touch focus. It has an HDMI port. It has a 3.5 millimeter audio jack, which most cameras have, but having that is still clutch. It has a 24.2 megapixel sensor, which is exactly what this has, and a lot of other great photography cameras. Great in low light, and I can attest to that. You can jack the ISO all the way up to around 8-10,000 without getting really grainy footage. That comes in super clutch when you're at weddings or you're doing photography work and you want to get it all done in one day. If you want to see my video settings to how I have my Sony set up, check this video out here, and I have the colors broken down, my color science, the color values broken down step by step. But generically speaking, I have it shooting in S-Log. It takes the Sony NP-FZ100 batteries, which is the same as the FX3 and other cinema cameras on this line, like the a7S III, I believe. This Sony camera isn't too heavy, and I actually throw it on that gimbal back there sometime. That's the Weeble S, or my brand new one, the Zhiyun Crane 2S, which is a heavy payload. Getting this camera in 2023 is that all the accessories are going to be cheaper. So if you're really trying to learn photography and not pay a lot of money, you can get battery packs, cheaper memory cards, monitors, cords for it, stands for it, and just overall cages and everything, and really have it coming at a budget price. Since Sony has come out with the a7 IV, FX3, a7C, which all have a little bit different body types, they're trying to get rid of the a7 III stock, which really helps you guys out as filmmakers and as creators. It has 693 points of face detection, which is fairly high for a camera this old and for this price point. If you're liking the way any of these films were shot, I shot these all on a gimbal with the Tamron 28-75 or the Sony 85mm lens, depending on how tight the shot is. You guys can comment below the time and I'll tell you what exactly lens I shot it on, just to help you guys out. I shoot most of my work with this or what is on the lens right now, which is clutch because I don't like switching my lenses too often. Negatives for this camera would be that it has a half-an-hour record limit, which is really not clutch, especially when you're trying to do these talking head videos. You're gonna mess up a lot, and sometimes you might go 32 minutes, you might not know that it even stopped recording, unless you have an external monitor. Now you want a camera that is easy to use, that the accessories are really easy to find, and that you don't have to spend a lot of money finding them. This year, there is no doubt in my mind that people will still line up to buy this camera, especially for the price point. You don't want to invest a ton of money into videography if you're not going to be learning the camera and wanting to step up eventually. No, you're not going to keep this camera as you move on to your cinematography career, but if you're just getting started as a videographer, doing corporate work, weddings, or even YouTube stuff, and you want to increase the level of your productivity, even for my moderately experienced videographers, this is definitely a camera that I still recommend in 2023 for you. In 2023, this camera is still great. However, it depends what lenses you're throwing on top of it. You can't just be throwing garbage on top of it. Like, don't be throwing the kit lens that comes with it. Don't even use that. Having a lens with a fixed aperture like a 1.8 or 2.8 is definitely good for you, especially if you're looking to improve your quality of work. I'm really grateful that I actually made the choice to buy this camera a couple years ago. And without this camera, my work, my website, my whole YouTube channel would have not come to where it is. So Sony, thank you for making this, and thank you for making it affordable for somebody who's working and just trying to improve their quality of life overall. This camera opened up so many doors for me, but it takes a lot of work. Don't buy a camera like this and don't invest $2,000 if you're really not going to put in the work to learn and enjoy videography. And on that note, it's your boy Kip Jackson. Start somewhere. Peace.